I I got an email from a follower just today, and she said to me, page 67 of your book has really helped me. So I have no clue what's on page 67. I haven't looked at my book in a million years. So I ran and dug up, I've just moved, and I ran and dug up a copy of my book to see what was on page 67. And I decided, because when I read the words, it was like my past self writing to my future self. It was so pivotal and so appropriate for what I'm experiencing right now. I thought I'd read it to you. Hi, Jen. Hi, Heather. Hi, George. So if you'd humor me, I'm just going to read you one page from my book. And hopefully, if you've landed here, this is going to be meaningful for you too. I've never done this before. It's kind of weird, but let's try. Let's try. Perhaps the number one message I receive from my tribe on social media is a wish to be as bold, confident, and courageous as I am. Wow, that's a hell of a lot to hold, folks. And as I sit here typing these big girl words for my big girl book, sharing my big girl success, I'm reminded of a picture my mother took of me as a little child standing proudly in her high-heeled shoes. To be honest, most days, that's who I really am. A kid trying to fill a space that's too big for her. Every time I hit post on a vulnerable blog, every time I step into a new stage to deliver a talk, every yes I say to an opportunity I know is well beyond my reach, I stand as that little girl in her too high shoes. I wasn't blessed with a superior, courageous gene at birth, nor do I have a secret formula for fearlessness. The truth is, I'm scared most of my life. Perhaps, my friends, that's the secret to my boldness. I remember spending several days detoxing at a juicing retreat in a remote rural cottage with my best friend years ago. Beyond the extreme physical symptoms of the detox, I was riveted by an experience I had during the weekend with a Reiki master who hosted the event. He told me that I carried the sadness and longing of my maternal ancestors in my cells. I collapsed into myself and I cried for hours, not from sadness, no, but from utter recognition and then from ultimate responsibility. That experience prompted me to dig deep, both into the history of the women who laid the genetic and energetic imprint before me, and into the core of who I was called to be. I felt obligated and privileged to stand on the shoulders of their unrequited desires. Their bravery, their frustration, their wishes, and their dreams gave me legs. The incomparable Dr. Maya Angelou said that courage is the single most important virtue, because without it, we couldn't practice any other virtue. I don't know when my story will end, when the final curtain will close on the last performance of my life. All I know is that it's rushing at an impossible speed. All I know is that this moment is fleeting. All I know is that in those last breaths, I will have a moment of precious rendering when I'll ask, have I come what I came here to do? Have I lived my life to its fullest expression? Am I proud of myself and the choices that I've made? I claim my greatest act of courage is to continue to dare to do the things that fill and strengthen me, like emotional and spiritual Wheaties. My self-worth emboldens me to use my gifts and say the unpopular thing. It builds an impenetrable shield of fortitude around my fragile ego that wants to be likable and accepted. It double dog dares me every day to create the art of my soul when doubt, fear, and insecurity creep like boogeyman into the closet of my mind. I'm clear that I've been giving this platform not to link arms and sing kumbaya to all of you. I'm clear that I'm here to use my voice to rattle the bones of discomfort and complacency, to enliven hope and possibility in all who cross my path, to invite you to pause for a moment, say, maybe this one, if only long enough to tap into the message that's alive in your cells, to hear the voices of your ancestors, past and future, and to be bold enough to say yes to the call of your heart. So I don't know if this is the message that you were needing to hear today, but I'm reminded, not in the moment when I'm doing something scary and courageous, and not even just immediately after, because there's that rush of adrenaline that's like firing through my body, but the dust settles after a little time and I can look back. I'm already looking back at myself, and I'm so proud of the difficult choices that I made. And I'm so proud of my resilience. And I think one of the best ways to build our self-trust muscle, because I talk about this being the foundation of my work, one of the best ways to build our self-trust muscle is to do hard things, to take risks. The only way that you can know if you trust yourself is if you test yourself. The only way that you can know how courageous you are is if you put yourself in situations that challenges you to be courageous. You can't philosophize about this shit. You can't just think about it. You can't just decide that you're courageous or bold. It requires you to embody boldness and courage. And that's how we prove to ourselves just how much we can trust ourselves, just how much we can bear, just how resilient we are. And I think I forget sometimes that it's not wanting to be courageous and bold. It's doing the things and proving to myself, not because of the outcome necessarily, not because things turn out exactly the way that I want, because they don't. But it's the act of stepping up to the plate. It's the act of stepping into the ring. It's the act of pushing forward and showing myself that I'm willing to go there. And that's a flex that you just can't achieve any other way but to do the thing. So I guess my message is to do the thing. To do the thing. Not necessarily for the end result. I mean, truly, just let that sink in. It's not to take the risk necessarily to reach the X marks the spot. Are you hearing me? It's to take the risk to prove to yourself that you trust yourself enough to dare. And self-trust, the definition of self-trust, is not to just do something knowing that you're going to achieve the outcome. It's not to do something just to prove yourself that you're going to commit to seeing it through. The actual definition of self-trust is the assured reliance that no matter what the outcome, that you're going to take care of yourself. No matter what the outcome, you'll do right by you. No matter what the outcome, you've got your own back. That's how you build self-trust. Thanks for being here. Have a beautiful day.